Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. We're going to start today with a really interesting contradiction, one that sits right at the heart of U.S. national security policy. You see, the National Security Agency, the NSA, is apparently using an advanced AI model from a company called Anthropic. The curious part, the NSA's own parent agency, the Pentagon, has officially labeled Anthropic a supply chain risk. So right away, that sets up a pretty complex puzzle. Now, the basis for our analysis here is an article from TechCrunch. It was written by Rebecca Bellin, published on April 20th, 2026, and it's titled, "NSA Spies Are Reportedly Using Anthropic's Mythos, Despite Pentagon Feud." This reporting is what really brings the intricate and somewhat tense relationship between this major AI firm and the U.S. government into the light. Okay, let's get into the details. Our first section here is going to look at what seems to be a very unlikely partnership, specifically the NSA's use of this rather controversial AI. And here is that contradiction laid out plainly. On one side of the government, you have the Pentagon's official stance. Anthropic is a risk. But on the other side, you have an agency operating directly under the Pentagon, the NSA, that is actively using the company's most advanced technology for its own security operations. So you have to ask, how can both of these things be true at the same time? So what exactly is this piece of technology that's causing all this friction? Let's take a closer look at the AI model itself. It's called Mythos, and it's really a classic double-edged sword when it comes to cybersecurity. Mythos Preview is what we call a frontier AI model. Anthropic built it for very specific high-level cybersecurity applications. But, and this is the important part, the company decided that its potential for offensive use, for cyberattacks, was just too high to release it to the public. This is why its access is so tightly controlled. So to break that down, the key attribute of Mythos is its power. Because it's so capable of offensive use, access is restricted to only about 40 carefully vetted organizations around the world. We understand the NSA as using it in a defensive capacity, to scan for vulnerabilities. It's also worth noting that a key American ally, the UK's AI Security Institute, has confirmed that they have access as well. This really signals how important this model is considered in Western security circles. This all brings us back to that supply chain risk label. Why does it exist? Well, to really understand that, you have to dig into the history of the Pentagon's feud with Anthropic. At its core, it's a fundamental clash over control and, more importantly, ethics. So, what started all of this? Where did this official dispute actually begin? What was the disagreement that led the Department of Defense to take the very public step of labeling one of the world's top AI labs a risk? And here's the answer. It all goes back to Anthropic's own ethical principles. The company drew a hard line in the sand. It refused to let its powerful AI models be used for things it considered dangerous or unethical, specifically mass domestic surveillance and autonomous weapons development. That refusal is what sparked the entire feud. But even with that history of conflict, the story doesn't end there. In fact, some very recent events suggest there might be a shift underway. We're seeing signs that the relationship between Anthropic and the administration might actually be thawing. Let's just look at the recent timeline. So in early April, Anthropic announces the Mythos model. Then, just recently, the company's CEO, Dario Amodei, had a very high-level meeting with the White House Chief of Staff and the Treasury Secretary. Following that meeting, the White House described it as productive. Now, given the public feud, that's a very significant choice of words. All right, let's step back and think about what this all means in the bigger picture. This case study, this specific situation, really serves as a microcosm of a much larger challenge: how we navigate the intersection of AI, corporate ethics, and national security. What we're really watching here is a very complex and delicate dance. On one side, you have an AI company trying to stick to its ethical principles. On another, you have a government with very real and evolving security needs. And in the middle, you have this incredibly powerful dual-use technology. The way this dance plays out is likely to set some major precedents for the future. And that leaves us with perhaps the most critical question of all. As these AI systems become more and more powerful, and they are, who ultimately gets to decide how they're used? Is it the companies that build them, the governments that need to use them, or will it require some new form of oversight that we haven't even invented yet? thank you for joining this AI for Career Success video overview. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee or hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. Please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel, and we'd appreciate it if you'd like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.